brought in,
I never
Wally.
saw any donuts.
I brought a donut in. Do we all have mics? Yes?
You have yours on? Oh,
Do you have a mic, Wally?
yes.
Excuse me, people. Just want to make
That's
sure.
okay.
Thanks, Sam.
You missed the expletives, a few of them.
That's because Wally had my donuts. He's got a nice looking woman there, and he's out of control. It happens every time. Sam, what do you want to say to the people? Do you want to speak yet, or?
I appreciate being invited on the show is because nothing that we say here this evening or anything that anyone tells you is going to change you as a person. That is something that is your responsibility to do and improve your character. All we can do is hope that you will have receptive hearts and receptive minds to the knowledge that we're trying to share with you that is actually facts. It's not delusion, it's not mental illness, it is facts by people that are being tortured across this country and across the world for unknown purposes, but for benefits of whether it be financial status, power, and it's wrong. And we're reaching out to the public so that you can understand and get some kind of idea that this is happening. And even though you're not experiencing it, it takes the experience itself for you to recognize how traumatic it is and how we can actually sit here, even the three of us, and talk to you about it. There's people, thousands across the world that these atrocities are happening to, and we'd like the public to be engaged and aware of what's happening because unfortunately at some point it may be happening to you.
She's right about that because a lot of people don't even know, Wally, that it's happening to them. They just don't realize until it gets so intense at that point. Now they've got you. And it's next week, Sam will share her incredible story. And I know it because we've spoke a lot. And it's up to her if she wants to go even start out with her childhood next week. But I tell you what, get the tissues ready because it was amazing. I just, that's all I can tell you is that it's a moving story. So now, Sam, you mentioned about the oath, right? You took
Yes.
an oath as you were in the Navy how many years?
I served in the United States Navy for 12 and a half years, and I also was a federal civil service employee for 9 years. And interestingly, that in both of those offices, I took an oath of office. And I was telling Phil earlier that when I started thinking about it is that those oaths of office I actually held to a higher accountability on myself than even my vows that I had to my marriage or even to my family. I devoted a large part of the best years of my life to serving this country and serving the government. And in those two positions, we take oaths of office to defend the Constitution. And I'd like to read one of the, actually both oaths of office are similar, except for one transgresses a little bit in the area of religion. But the oath of office that we take as federal employees is exactly this, that I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of which I'm about to enter, so help me God. The reason I'm going over these oaths of office is because I brought to light some corruption, fraud, and mismanagement and conspiracies relative to government contracting. And I take my oaths of office seriously. And not only did I take those oaths of office, but I am bound by what's an executive order 12674, that if I do not report any suspect corruption, fraud, any of that sort, that I can be penalized for it. And as I was saying earlier, my oath of office as a civilian employee is very similar to that which I took in the military. And the only difference is that we have a higher obligation to obey the orders of the president. And that's basically the difference is after when it talks about defending the Constitution of the United States, all enemies, foreign and domestic, bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will, this is the difference, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and orders of the officers appointed over me according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Now, I'm reaching out to the military individuals in this audience because we are honorary, courageous individuals, and we're getting blamed, some of us are getting blamed for what's happening to thousands of people across this country that are being tortured by the use of the technologies that the government is contracting for, whether it be through universities, whether it be through private contracting. The government, not all aspects of it, I believe, are familiar with it, but the government is familiar with this torture and these networks and the traumatizing and the organized stalking and such that we're going through. And I'm imploring the military employees that we're here to defend against enemies, foreign and domestic. Now, we're dealing with domestic enemies here right now that are attacking our citizens. And we took an oath to protect our citizens. There's some of us out there that are not abiding by our oath of office and that are discrediting the rest of the service members here. For one, myself and Wally, who sit here, that have always done the right thing and have honored and served and have integrity. And I'm reaching out to those military people that, you know, you all know military knows of Article 92, which is failure to obey a lawful order. When you're being told to actually go out and harm and traumatize a civilian or anyone domestically on this soil or anywhere, that is a violation of the UCMJ. It's also a violation of our foundation and the Constitution of the United States. You are disobeying a lawful order under Article 92 because if you're given an order to do such a thing, whether you're sitting behind in a room and you're pressing a button that, you know, is setting off shooting weapons, drones that are killing people, whether it's targeting people with directed energy weapons, you are violating not only the laws of this land, the Constitution of the United States, but you're violating the United States Code of Military Justice because you can't possibly be given a lawful order to actually to target an innocent individual without giving them the rights under our Constitution of the United States. And like I said, I'm reaching out to the military out there, the men and women that I've served with that have the honor and integrity and courage to stand up against this atrocities that are happening to your own people. I mean, I know I've served with some brilliant honorary individuals, and the fact that the military is getting blamed for a lot of this technology that's being used against innocent citizens, I'm smoldering over it because I'm one of the most patriotic people out there, and I know a lot of you are. And we need to be the ones that take charge, and we need to have the courage to stand up and stand together and say we will not allow this. We are not going to obey unlawful orders.
Wow.
Very good. Yep.
And let me just give you just another little piece of Sam's background. She was a journalist while she was in the Navy, so obviously she has a talent that she hasn't put to use in a while, but I'm hoping to take some of her talent and keep her around a little bit on and off. Huh, Wally?
Yep.
Shit, you're not going to care about that. Huh?
Yep.
You can put her
We
mic
get
on.
fired up because, you know, we love this country. That's why you're here, that's why Wally's here. And we're not going to sit here and allow people with nefarious reasons for destroying our country and also, putting in a bad light, especially military people. I know I'm not doing this, I'm not responsible for it, but it's happening to me. I'm not exempt from it, like Dr. Hall talked about last week. You know, if anything, I'm targeted more so because I would have the credibility to know between my government and federal service on exactly what's going on. And I've told these guys before that I've been very, very loyal to our government and our country. But when it comes to committing crimes against the public, my integrity trumps that loyalty. And I'm sorry, and that's the way it should be for every single one of you military out there. Like I said, an order has to be lawful. And we don't outsource integrity, it's insource. And you should have it within you. We were taught from the time that we entered the military, we have like, each service has their own models of behavior and their foundation and how they groom you, the kind of person they want to be. And I guess what upsets me is the kind of person that they instilled in me to be it's such hypocritical now, because what they're doing, what some people in the military and people believe the military is doing, is so contrary to anything that we were ever taught and ingrained and drilled into us, and how we were cycled in boot camp and punished sometimes severely for not following rules. I was one of those. I was sort of like a rebel in the beginning, and I didn't like to follow some of the orders. And let me tell you what, I had some consequences for it. And when I turned around and I did everything that I thought was right, followed the rules, still it didn't matter. So like, I'm imploring and pleading with you military people that are out here to speak out and show the public that we are still defending them, that we are protecting them. We're protecting them against these domestic crimes that are happening, that were being used against citizens in this country. And I hope you're not one of those that are sitting behind the panels, pressing buttons, and acting like you're a zombie in artificial intelligence and use whatever. Wake up, realize that you innately have a conscience. And I don't know what's blocking it, but if you're sitting back there pressing buttons, using directed energy weapons, stalking and harassing innocent victims, then you seriously need to take a look at yourself, because this country was built on Christian values, and we took our oaths. And whether you suffer the consequences now or later for this type of behavior, I'm just asking that you take a look at yourself and try to make the changes, and so that we stand together. We stand together, because if we don't, then this is going to end up to be something to the extent of what happened during the Nazi war, and none of us want to be around for that.
Great, thank you, Sam.